own history. I actually went to an institution that had its own set of history called South Carolina State University in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And what it was known for was the Orangeburg Massacre, where a lot of people were hurt and even some lost their lives. Now, it happened a long time ago, 1968 to be exact, but that story had a meaningful impact on my life. In fact, it changed my life. Now, these days I travel all around the world speaking to students like yourself, but when I was in college, my life was a lot more predictable. I remember one Wednesday, the Wednesday, I didn't feel like being front and center. Now, although it may have happened to me that morning, maybe I got a grade that sucked, but whatever it was, I remember walking into the back of the auditorium, still having the opportunity to sit in one of the seats in the first 5 rows, but instead I convinced my best friend Ebony to sit in the back. I told her, I said, you know what, I'm not really feeling this today. So whoever they got here speaking, as soon as he or she gets done, we can bounce right out the door and hit the cab. And she agreed, so we sat down. And not only did I sit in the back, but I sat as close to the wall as I could get, so I have somewhere to put my arm up against and put my head in my hand. So this is how I was looking at that. So if you would have seen me, you would have known that I did not want to be there. But this Wednesday, the Wednesday, something was different. Because the Dean of Business had invited an alum by the name of Hank Allen from Pfizer Pharmaceuticals to come speak to us about life and business. Today, he started asking questions about the Orangeburg Massacre. And for every correct answer, he was giving students $50 bills. So he asked the first question, my hand goes up. Somebody on the right side, front row, they got the money. Second question, my hand goes up again. Somebody on the third row on the other side, they got the $50. Third question, fourth question, 2 people in the center, second and fifth row. They got the money. Now by this time I'm getting a little anxious because Hank doesn't have much money left in his hand. Fifth question, sixth question, by this time I'm waving my hand so frantically trying to get Hank's attention. I'm about to knock Ebony out to the aisle. But just like that, he was done. And because I sat too far back on the Wednesday, I missed out on at least $300. Because I ain't tried my best that day, I left out of that auditorium with the same amount of money that I came in with, which was $0. But today is your The Wednesday. Today you get to decide on which path you're going to take. One path leads to everything you ever dreamed of, and let's face it, the other path does not. I remember that I had to go to Los Angeles for a business trip, but I was going to be there a while, so I said, you know what, let me just take my family with me and maybe have some fun, go to some basketball games. Now the day that we were traveling, it was bad weather, and whenever I fly, I always wear my Dead Suck shirt because you never know who you're going to see. So because we were delayed so much, I got to Los Angeles just in time to go to my first event, which was a celebrity bowling tournament. And within minutes of walking in, somebody got my attention because they wanted to see what was on my shirt. And it was no other than Mr. Nick Cannon himself. Anybody watch Wild 'N Out? No. Yep. Well, believe it or not, many of the comedians on that show are still in student loan debt. And so he hears about it every day and want to know more about what I do with students like yourselves around money. Now, you don't help people live their dreams for just one day or 1 week. When you get your money right, you help people live their dreams for the rest of their lives. None of this matters. Honestly, what I'm doing right now is what I love to do. It's why I travel so much, why I wrote the books that I've written. It's because I want to help you live better with your money. I actually went to college on a full ride tennis scholarship, which means everything was paid for. Tuition was paid for, books was paid for, food, anything that I do in school was free. Only thing I had to worry about was a little bit of spending money each month with my mom. She tried to help me with. She would send me money at the beginning of the month, supposed to last 30, 31 days. Usually only lasted 7 because I didn't know how to handle money. It wasn't until my 3rd year of college that I started making a little bit of money when I landed this 8-month internship in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this wasn't just any internship, but this company paid me an annual salary of $45,000, which means I was bringing home $3 grand a month at the age of 20. And not only did they pay me, but they gave me a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, a company car, and pay for my gas all 8 months. So the only thing I had to do on $3 grand a month was feed myself. So thanks to that scholarship and that internship, I graduated college debt-free with $10,000 in the bank at the age of 21. What in the world is going on? They said that she was $50,000 in debt. Wait, what happened? Well, life started to happen. And life started happening to me quickly. Now, the first life event, I didn't really mind because I married my high school sweetheart, who's my husband today. But when we got married, I didn't know he had student loan debt of $25,000 for 1 year of college. See, I thought he went to college on a basketball scholarship. But what happened is that coach convinced his parents to come to this institution, pay for out of pocket the first year, which they can't do, and his scholarship picked up the rest. So I told him, I said, you know what? That's your student loan. That means your paycheck's gonna pay for it. And I kept it moving because by this time we had been married for about 7 seconds. So I decided it's time for me to build us a house. And not just any house, but I built us a house bigger than both our parents' homes combined. See, I, as well as everyone in here, is a part of the microwave generation. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Think about whatever your favorite food is. When you put it in the microwave, 3 minutes later, dinner is served. Well, that's how it's living my life. So let's recap, shall we? I graduated college debt-free with 10 grand in the bank, and within a few years, I was $50,000 in the hole, and all 10 grand was gone. And I would love to stand up here and tell you that that's when I woke up. But no, we kept going out to dinner, kept going on vacation, kept buying clothes. Because let's face it, as long as the money's coming in and everybody's getting paid, we're good. Well, that's when life decided to basically punch me in the stomach, and I was laid off from my job. And now we had a 1-year-old at home, my son JR, staring us in the face saying, what are you going to do now? Now that's when I woke up, and I started taking steps to pay off all $50,000 of that debt in 2 years. The same steps we're going to talk about today. So, with the dream sheet that is in front of you, as you can see, it's set out in short-term, intermediate, and long-term. So 3 to 6 months, 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5 years from now. The dream sheet is what you would do, where you would go, and who would you help if money wasn't an issue. This is what you want most out of life. But whatever your why is, that's why you're doing this. It could be a child, it could be a sibling, it could be your grandmother, your parents, it could be yourself as your why. But whatever your why is, that is what this dream sheet is about. And why I spend so much time on this is because if you don't have the dream sheet down, this is the foundation. Everything else after this doesn't work. So when I work with people one-on-one and they don't come with the dream sheet, meeting is over. It's done. Because they're not going to do everything that needs to be done to win. Now once you get your dream sheet down, you got to ask yourself, where did it go? If you got more month than money, then there's a hole in your financial bowl. We got to find a way to fill it. And the way to fill it is what I call a 2-week expense tracking. So tracking every penny that comes out of your pocket, starting on the 1st of the 15th. Now why I pick the 1st of the 15th, that's when big bills are due. That's when the apartment rent is due, your cell phone is due, if you got a mortgage, car note, car insurance, and that's when you get paid. And that's why those bills are due on those days. And you're going to look at everything else through those 2 weeks. How many people have a car in here? Okay? So every time you go to the gas station, that receipt needs to be kept. If you go inside and get you a pack of gum for $1, that receipt needs to be kept. Anything, any penny that comes out of your household has to be tracked for those 2 weeks. 2 years, we didn't save $200 a month. We saved $150 by cutting out, eating out, because we added $50 to the grocery list so we could cook more. So out of those 3 expenses right there, we got $100, $80, and $150. So now we're saving $330 per month by cutting out or cutting back that we added to paying off the debt. So our car note was $400 a month. Now we're adding $330 and now paying them $730 a month to that car note. Now you see how $50,000 of debt starts to get paid off really quickly. Have you ever wanted something so badly as I wanted those boots? I mean, think about it when you all in Atlanta, where a Range Rover is normal, obviously. Think about when you're walking around campus and you're seeing people with new cars or they got new pair of shoes on, brand name shoes on. Maybe you like me, I used to go into people's apartments, my girls would have closets that look like this. I go into my homeboy's room, he got a new flat screen TV. And I would be confused because they came from the same place I came from and I couldn't find out how they was getting this money. And somebody told me that they had got their refund check. Now, I'm still confused because as a tennis player, the biggest refund check I got was $25. But come to find out, they were getting hundreds, even thousands of dollars back. Instead of paying their student loans back or even saving the money, they were buying anything they could get their hands on. See, at the time, they didn't know that if they had student loans, their refund checks are not free. And you're going to have to pay it back with interest. So they could have saved their money and even thought about selling things. Now, some of the things that we sold, first and foremost, was a microwave that I found in our closet that was a wedding gift. And since we built our house, I didn't need that microwave. I don't know who got it for us, but I took it to the pawn shop and I sold it for $40. and put it towards debt. Then I walked around our house and we had 5 TVs for 2.5 people. So I took 3 of those TVs, took them to different pawn shops. I'll tell y'all these stuff to the same pawn shop. Okay? And sold them for about $60 to $80 a piece and put that money towards paying off the debt. Now, has anybody ever sold gold in here? Whether it's at a jewelry shop or a pawn shop. Okay, it's good money, ain't it? It doesn't matter if it's broken. I took my mother's bracelet that could fit in the palm of my hand. It was broken. They gave me at the jewelry shop $300 for it. It doesn't matter if it's broken because gold right now is selling pretty high in the commodities market. So all thing they're going to do is melt down your gold and sell it. So if you have any gold, that's easy money. Take it to a jewelry shop that buys gold. And cell phones. Samsung, iPhone come out with a new phone every 6 months. So you can make some good money selling to people online. There are plenty of people online who cannot go on the Verizon, can't go on the Sprint because they owe them money. And so they would gladly buy your phone off online for $150 or $200. Especially now that we got phones that cost $1,000 and $2,000 out there. So making money off your hobbies, for those who can't see it in the back. That first picture is children, which represents babysitting. Okay? Has anybody ever babysit a brother or sister for free? No. Yeah. Well, one thing, a lot of people don't like to babysit. Okay? They don't want to babysit other people's kids. But I remember when I was coming to speak to Ivy Tech Community College, I had got finished my entire presentation, was packing up everything, and a young lady came up to me and she said, "Janae, I seen what you put up on the screen, but I don't know how we can do any of that because me and my 2 daughters," she had a 10-year-old and a 17-year-old, she said, "we're actually homeless living out of our car." Now when I came into Ivy Tech, when I rolled in, I seen a Chick-fil-A with a playground in it. And so I told her, I said, you go into that computer lab, you print you off some babysitting flyers, and what you're going to do is you're going to charge $25 per kid per hour. They're going to meet you at that Chick-fil-A, and your 10-year-old is going to play with them in that playground until they come back. She called me, emailed me actually 3 months later. She had made $3 grand. $3,000 is a lot to somebody who's homeless. It's a lot to somebody who has a job. When you're in an area with multiple campuses, there are plenty of staff and faculty here who are not from here. So they don't have the luxury that I have when I go out of town, that my husband has a mother and a mother-in-law there to help with the kids. A lot of these staff and faculty are here by themselves. And so they don't get out and get away from their kids. So if you're working with people who have children, offering babysitting so that they can just get away and get a break. So what does the credit score measure? It measures debt. And the reason why I bring this up to college students and not anybody else, because you all live a different life than your mother, your grandmother, and great-grandmother. Mainly because of that number right there. That's the average student loan debt from a graduate of last year. When I started this a few years ago, it was $31,000. First, it was going up by $1,000 a year. Now lately, it's been going up by $2,000. So more than likely, the graduates of 2019 is going to be $39,000 is the average student loan debt they're leaving with. The average household debt of credit cards, which by the way is an all-time high now, $16,000. So if I come in here and I tell you that you should worry about a credit card or worry about a credit score, I'm basically saying, why don't you take 16 grand thread and add it on top of that? And in good conscience, I can't do that because you'll owe more than I did. So like I said, it's up to you on what you want to do. But you and all of you that are in TRiO got my book with the Debt Sucks University. In there, I show you exactly how to get a house and a car without a credit score. So have you ever heard it's not what you know, it's who you know? All right? It's actually who knows you. Like I know Oprah, but Oprah don't know me, okay? I know Chris Paul of the Houston Rockets, but Chris Paul knows me. And so if I needed something, I can ask him for it. That's the difference. So if someone that's an alumni of this school calls the career service and says that you have a certain person for this $3,000 a month paid internship and they don't know your name, you lose. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, you need to have one. I work with human resource directors when I go and work in corporate America, and they tell me all the time, if somebody sends in a resume and they look at LinkedIn and you're not there, they delete it or shred it, no matter how they got it. So if you're trying to get an internship or a career in the future, you need to be on LinkedIn. One credit card is $1,000, other one's $2,000, and the other one's $3,000. You got to pay off the $1,000 first, and you put all your extra money towards the monthly payment of the $1,000. When that gets done, Then that minimum payment you did for the $1,000, you take that and all the extra money, you put it towards the $2,000 one. You see it starting to pile up, and you're doing that until the $2,000 paid off. You're taking all the money from those two and putting it towards the three. And then you do that until all of it's gone. But you also, but the first and foremost is the mercy fund has to be there before you do any of that. The 500 to 1,000 has to be there first. Before you do everything else, you gotta do the minimum payments until that is full. If you get into an emergency, let's say it takes $200 out of that 500, you gotta get the $200 back in before, and so you gotta pause, you gotta do minimum payments and then put it back, and then go back hard at it after the $500 to 1,000 is back. Okay? To answer your question? Okay. But that's the steps that you start off with. And are you in TRiO? So you got the book too. Just keep, read that and see, because it explains even more about what I'm talking about.